Hello, join Chief Charlie Beck for a conversation regarding the Chief's message for the month of March 2016. Chief, how are you?
Jack, I'm great. How about you?
Very good, thanks.
Good.
You know what, sir? The topic of conversation, whether it's in the roll call room or you going to the public safety meeting, is deployment in the department.
Well, you know, Jack, the size of the Los Angeles Police Department has always caused us to focus on deployment. You know, we're a small police department given our task. You know, this is the second largest city in America, you know, a huge amount of square miles, and it takes a lot of cops to do a good job. So deployment's always an issue. And then we have many competing concerns. You know, we have to be ready for terrorism. We have to be able to investigate crimes. You know, we have to be able to respond to community concerns in special locations and answer 911. So it's always a balance. And, you know, that's what I try to emphasize is that, you know, we try to be all things to all people in the Los Angeles Police Department. We try to be ready for any threat, whether it's one person that generates a radio call, or whether it's a group of people that commit a terrorist act. We have to be ready. So, in order to do that, I have to make tough deployment decisions, and everybody could use more resources doing what they're doing. You know, and we will make every effort to ensure that patrol is adequately staffed, that we have enough response units in Metropolitan Division to not only address crime spikes, but to be ready for a terrorist incident, that we have enough detectives to investigate crimes completely, that we get enough supervisors in the field to make sure our officers work safe and stay safe, that we have enough civilian personnel. You know, coming out of the recession, this department has 600 civilian vacancies. In other words, positions that are not filled. And unfortunately, Sworn has to take up some of the slack in that area. You know, and whether one of the P2s that I've indentured to work the jail, or the chief of police typing his own messages. You know, these are things that we need to staff. And so this is an important discussion to have, because we acknowledge, and the city acknowledges, that we need to hire more civilian staff, that we need to grow this police department, that we need to make sure that we have enough officers on patrol. And we're going to do those things, and we're going to make sure that people can work safe and that we can give this city what it needs, which is public safety.
So the Metropolitan being added to and all the changes that have been made recently, is it too early to see if we've actually made any headway on this?
Well, you know, I think, by my estimation, we have made headway. You know, we have slowed the increase dramatically. As a matter of fact, some of our bureaus are doing very well. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I think that it has addressed some of the symptoms. But remember, you know, we got to get to the root causes here. Mm-hmm. And the root causes are current legislation that keeps people out of jail but provides no
Prop
funding
47.
for treatment. Yeah, 47 and 109. Mm-hmm. And then also the increase in homelessness. You know, mm-hmm. You work Central Division. You know what kind of crime levels that brings to a division. And so the city and the county are working on that. You know, and until we find solutions for the root causes, you know, we're always going to be chasing this instead of getting ahead of it. So, you know, the things that I do allow us to address these things, but they are not the long-term solution. You know, you can't, you know, adding a couple hundred cops to Metropolitan Division is not going to make up for the fact that Prop 47 is keeping thousands of people citywide out of jail and out of treatment.
Sure.
You know, and so we have to address these things, and we got to figure out ways to do it as best we can within the confines of what the Los Angeles Police Department can do. And so that's what we're doing.
You were captain at Central for a long time. You know that the homelessness issues there are very complex, very expensive to fix. There are a couple of things that are happening in Central right now. Reset is working in that area. They are actually working with the Los Angeles Housing Association, getting people in and trying some new things.
And Department of Mental Health.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, one of the, like I always say, police work is built upside down. By the time you have enough experience to do it, you're too old to do it. You know, but in my job, having experience in all the divisions makes a big difference. I was the captain not only at Central, I was the captain at Rampart, I was the captain at Southeast. You know, I've worked 7 patrol divisions as either an officer or a sergeant. I mean, I know this city, and I know the needs of this city, and I know my police officers, and I know what we need to do, and these are the things that we need to do to move forward. Now, are they going to get immediate? You know, can we control the whole universe from the seat of a black and white? No. but we can make a difference, and we can have strategic deployment that allows us to do the best that this police department can. And then, you know, it's my job to work with the political establishment, you know, work with city leaders to make changes in you know, the circumstances that cause homelessness, in the ability to house people via Prop 47 and either get them treatment or incarcerate them. And so these are things I need to work on, and city leaders need to work on, and I need our cops to be focused on their jobs.
Mm-hmm. A lot of those issues develop. We have MEU training throughout the department as well, correct?
Well, MEU training, you know, we're expanding the SMART teams. You know, the goal is that this year the SMART teams will be able to handle almost 70% of the calls that are described as with mental illness involved. You know, and that's going to be a big help, because it's not just that they handle that portion of radio calls, but because they have a clinician there, you know, maybe they can get at the root cause, because every cop knows that, you know, especially these kind of calls with people that have mental illness or substance abuse issues, you are just one in a long line of cops that has responded to that same exact problem, and all that's changed is the date and time. And so, you know, maybe, and the plan is that with SMART teams, they can do some casework and maybe change some circumstances in people's lives that cause all this dysfunction. You know, maybe we can cut down, you know, what's become a real issue with policing, and that is, you know, our constant need to deal with folks that have mental illness.
Now, on a real positive note, and maybe a little strange, if two officers running in the LA Marathon, one in full tactical gear.
Crazy, huh? Yeah, you know, and running to raise money for what? Homelessness,
Yeah,
you know.
that's great.
And so recognizing that this is a problem that is not only wrong on the humanistic level, but also severely impacts policing in Los Angeles, not to mention the fire service. So, you know, I just couldn't be prouder of them. You know, these are true heroes, you know, and that's what makes me so proud to be the chief of Los Angeles Police Department. Not just two runners, you know, but all 13,000 people that work here. You know, they do a great job. They got great hearts. You know, they make a difference in a city that is a really tough city to police. It has multiple challenges, much more complicated than any other city that I know of. And you do a great job.
So here we are, really virtually, weeks away from Baker to Vegas.
Yes.
And people are getting ready to run.
People are getting ready to run. You know, the two department teams, the women's team and the elite team, you know, have been undefeated for 6 years on the women's side and 4 years on the men's side. So this is a big deal, and you know, that all the divisional teams and the you know, the local teams, you know, we'll probably have close to 40 teams this year. So that's
Great.
Pretty amazing.
Great, boss. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jack. Be careful out there and take care of each other.